Hello everybody, I am Manoj Pine and today we will discuss on biodiesel. What is biofuel? Biofuel is a type of fuel whose energy is derived from biological carbon fixation. Biofuels include fuels derived from biomass conversion as well as solid biomass, liquid fuels and various biogases. Biodiesel is one most important form of biofuel. It is made from vegetable oils and animal fats. Biodiesel can be used as a fuel for vehicles in its pure form, but it is usually used as a diesel additive to reduce levels of particulates, carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons from diesel powered vehicles. Organic resources in its pure form may be called virgin biomass. From the pure form, different products may be produced for human and different animal use. After use of these human beings and animals, whatever things are wasted can be used to produce fuels. While using the fuels, whatever CO2 is produced that may be used for photosynthesis purpose of different plants to produce organic resource. Now in virgin form, the organic resources more energy value than the wasted form. Now let's discuss about different resources of biofuels. One of them is algae. Algae are produced in stagnant ponds in the natural world and more recently in algae farms which produce the plant for specific purpose of producing biofuel. Advantage of using algae are manifold. For example, no CO2 is back into the air. This is self-generating biomass. Algae can produce more oil than conventional crops. The use of algae is producing biofuel from algae on a mass scale are in process but are not yet commercially viable. Now let us talk about another different resource of biofuel. Those are nothing but carbohydrate rich biomaterials. They come from the fermentation of starches derived from agricultural products like corn, sugarcane, wheat, beets and other existing food crops or from inedible cellulose from the same. Produced from existing crops can be used in an existing gasoline engine, making it a logical transition from petroleum. It is used in auto industry heating buildings. At present, the transportation costs required to transport grains from harvesting to processing and then out to vendors results in a very small net gain in the sustainability stakes. Third very important resource of biofuels is oil-rich biomaterials. They come from existing food crops like rapeseed, sunflower, corn and others. We may use them in two different forms. One is first use form or straight vegetable oil called SVO and the second one is after it has been used for other purposes like food preparation, then they are called waste vegetable oil or WVO. They are not susceptible to microbial degradation. They are highly available. They are reused material. It is used in the creation of biodiesel fuel for automobiles, home heating and experimentally as a pure fuel itself. At present, WVO or SVO is not recognized as a mainstream fuel for automobiles. Also, WVO and SVO are susceptible to low temperatures, which make them unusable in colder climates. Another very important resource of biofuel is agricultural wastes. The advantages of using agricultural wastes is they need very little processing, they need very low technology for processing, they naturally hold CO2 rather than releasing it into the air. Primarily, biochar has been used as a means to enrich soil by keeping CO2 in it and not into the air. As fuel, the off gases have been used in home heating. Now let us talk about different advantages of biodiesel. Firstly, they may be produced from renewable resources. Biodiesel is a renewable energy source, unlike other petroleum products that will vanish in years to come. Since it is made from animal and vegetable fat, it can be produced on demand and also causes less pollution than petroleum diesel. One of the main advantages of using biodiesel is that can be used in existing diesel engines with little or no modifications at all and can replace fossil fuels to become the most preferred primary transport energy source. Biodiesel can be used in 100% or in blends with petroleum diesel. It improves engine lubrication and increases engine life since it is virtually sulfur free. Fossil fuels, when burnt, release greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide in the atmosphere that raises the temperature and causes global warming. To protect environment from the further heating up, many people have adopted the use of biofuels. Expert believes that using biodiesel instead of petroleum diesel can reduce greenhouse gases up to 78%. Fossil fuels are limited and may not be able to fulfill our demand for coal, oil, and natural gas after a certain period. Biodiesel can work as an alternative form of fuel and can reduce our dependence on foreign suppliers of oil as it is produced from domestic energy crops. It is produced in local refineries which reduce the need to import expensive finished product from the other countries. When oil is extracted from the underground, it has to be refined to run diesel engines. You can't use it straight away in the crude form. When it is refined, it releases many chemical compounds including benzene and butadiene in the environment which are harmful for animals, plants and human life. Biofuel refineries, which mainly uses vegetable and animal fat into biofuel, releases less exotic chemicals if spilled or released to the environment. When biofuels are burnt, they produce significantly less carbon output and few pollutants. As compared to petroleum diesel, biodiesel produces less soot, carbon monoxide, unburned hydrocarbons, and sulfur dioxide. Flash point for biodiesel is higher than 150 degrees centigrade, whereas the same is about 52 degrees centigrade for petroleum diesel, which makes it less combustible. It is therefore safe to handle and store and transport. Vehicles that run on biodiesel achieve 30% fuel economy than petroleum based diesel engines, which means that it makes fewer trips to gas stations and run more miles per gallon. Biofuels are produced locally and thousands of people are employed in biofuel production plant. Since biodiesel is produced from crops, an increase in demand for biodiesel leads to increase in demand for suitable biofuel crops. Moreover, it creates less emission by reducing the amount of suspended particles in the air. This reduces the cost of healthcare products. With locally produced biofuels, many countries have reduced their dependence on fossil fuels. It may not solve all the problems in one blow, but a nation can save billions by reducing their usage on foreign fuel. Air pollution causes more deaths and diseases than any other form of pollution. Pollutants from gasoline engines, when released in the air, form smog and make thousands of people sick every year. Biodiesel produces less toxic pollutants than the other petroleum products. There are so many advantages of biodiesel, but still they are not being used commercially because there are some disadvantages too, which are about to overcome. Firstly, biodiesel is made up from variety of biofuel crops. When the oil is extracted and converted to biofuel using chemical process, the results can vary in ability to produce power. In short, not all biofuel crops are same as amount of vegetable oil may vary. Since biofuels are made from animal and vegetable fat, more demand for these products may raise prices for the products and create food crisis in some countries. For example, production in biodiesel from corn may raise its demand and it might become more expensive, which may deprive poor people from having it. As more crops are grown to produce biofuels, more fertilizer is used, which can have devastating effect on environment. The excess use of fertilizers can result in soil erosion and can lead to land pollution. Biodiesel cleans dirt from the engine. This proves to be an advantage of biofuels, but the problem is that this dirt gets collected in the fuel filter and clogs it. Some regions are not suitable for oil producing crops. The most productive crops can't be produced anywhere and they need to be transported to the plants, which increases the cost and amount of emission associated with the production and transportation. The use of water to produce more crops can put pressure on local water resources. The areas where there is water scarcity, production of crops to be used in making of biofuels is not wise idea. Monoculture refers to the practice of producing same crop over and over again and again rather than producing different crops. While this results in fetching best price for the farmer, but it has some serious environmental drawbacks. When the same crop is grown over large acres, the pest population may grow and it may go beyond control. Without crop rotation, the nutrients of the soil are not put back, which may result in soil erosion. Biodiesel is not distributed as widely as petroleum diesel. The infrastructure still requires more boost so that it is adopted as most preferred way to run engines. Another very important disadvantage is that it requires much amount of energy to produce biodiesel fuel from soy crops, as energy is needed for sowing, fertilizing and harvesting crops. Apart from that, raw materials needed to be transported through trucks, which may consume some additional fuel. Some scientists believe that producing 1 gallon of biofuel needs energy equivalent to several gallons of petroleum fuel. Biodiesel has about 10% higher nitrogen oxide than other petroleum products. Nitrogen oxide is one of the gas that is used in formation of smog and ozone. Once it gets dissolved in atmosphere, moisture can cause acid rain. This is all for today. With this, I Manoj Pine signing off. Thank you. We will meet shortly. Till then, bye bye. Take care.